listening to Driving Law, a podcast by Kyla about all things related to the rules of the road.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Driving Law that we already filmed half of.
We started to record it and had lots to say and went on about the stress of Kyla's week. 4 days of out of town for trial, and then sentencing this morning, sentencing this afternoon, pre-trial conferencing. It's just, a decision this morning. And the stress of all that, and talked about other things that were interesting too, and made some really great jokes. And then my computer froze, and so we switched over to Kyla's computer, and it appears that it was lost. So, Apple, I'm cursing you now. Poor Kyla is beside me. Driving Law podcast. We have lots to talk about.
And we have to finish the podcast before I end up on call for the next
Quick summary.
600 hours.
Quick summary. FIFA's over. RCMP officers are traveling back across the province. We can tell you now that there was basically no speed enforcement outside of the Lower Mainland, and not much in the Lower Mainland during FIFA. And the only roadblocks were on Canada Day. We couldn't tell you that before. That was sad. The topic that we wanted to talk about first was the police on Vancouver Island have notified people by way of a couple of public statements that they are no longer counting on doing educational enforcement with respect to people riding motorcycles, electric motorcycles, in places that they're not supposed to. So we've seen this proliferation of these electric
electric motorcycles. If you say electric motorcycles, people are going to think like a Harley Davidson motorcycle that uses a battery instead of a gas can.
Off-road bikes. They're off-road bikes. Yeah, they're dirt bikes. They're electric dirt bikes.
But Motorino scooters.
But it doesn't have to be electric. I mean, any dirt bike that you're riding on the street that's not a licensed thing and you're not licensed for it.
That doesn't meet the requirements of the BC Motor Vehicle Act's pilot projects and or the BC Motor Vehicle Act's e-bike definition, which is not just based solely on the number of cc's or the speed limiting or the fact it has pedals or the wheel diameter. It's all of the things.
Parents are buying these things for their kids, and the kids are going out and riding them on the street. And I understand, I've looked at them and thought how exciting it would be to be 14 and have one of these dangerous things. But they are not allowed on the streets. They're not allowed in the parks. They're not allowed on the sidewalks. And so they're actually seizing them now, impounding them, taking them, and issuing tickets. And we were joking about the one police officer that we were both thinking of, who was a corporal, but wasn't the person who came out and made the public statement about it, who probably has issued 17 tickets to 14 different kids at this point.
In the last week.
And then we were pondering about what happens to you when you're 14 or 15 years old and you're issued a ticket. And what happens, Kyla asked me, is that you get a ticket and you've got to either defend that ticket or pay that ticket.
Yeah, but where does that ticket go?
That ticket goes on your driving record, and you don't even have a driver's license yet. So when they pull you over to issue you a ticket in British Columbia, if you're from out of province or you're a kid, doesn't matter. You okay?
It's kept
sore back.
Comfortable.
They're your chairs. They're your guest chairs. You don't want guests to be comfortable. The
one that stay too long.
When they issue you a ticket, they also create a driving record for you, and that is the beginning of they give you assign your driver's license number. You have a file, and that ticket will follow you. So if you get a ticket when you're 14 years old and you end up guilty of that ticket, when you're 16 and going to get your learner's license, that ticket will be on your driving record. When you're 17 and you go and get your license, that ticket will be on your record, and it will potentially impact your insurance premiums.
So what you're saying, Paul, is that if you're going to commit offenses related to riding dirt bikes on public roads and like hitting people or getting in accidents, do it when you're 12 or younger. Once you turn 13, it's going to go on your driving record and there's be a record of it forever. But when you're 12, you live life consequence-free.
It'll show you, it says on there, young offender.
Yeah.
We don't use young offender as a term anymore. We use the
Yes, we do.
Youth Criminal Justice, your driving record, it shows you as a young offender.
Yeah. And unlike your, youth convictions that, you get charged with something as an adult, your young offender driving record does still come up in court.
Yeah.
Although I've never actually had a Crown rely on it. Like the Crown's always said, oh, Your Honor, look, there's some young offender offenses on there. Just disregard those.
Yes. So in court, you're fine. But when it comes to insurance,
Superintendent.
yes, superintendent, you can get a driving prohibition, and you probably would get a driving prohibition because you're
Don't you
unlicensed.
person who can't drive.
So
But don't, you know what, the thing is though, like, you don't want to start that snowballing early because that's what happens, right? If you start to accumulate things when you're young, you end up in a situation where you're never going to get licensed, you're never going to be lawful, you're always going to be catching up with ICBC's consequences instead of the other way around.
and you'll feel stigmatized. You'll feel stigmatized about it the entire time.
Yeah.
So if our new audience of 14-year-olds, probably 14-year-old boys on dirt bikes, don't ride that bike anywhere on any public property, or unless it's like a place to ride dirt bikes. There's certain Crown land where you can ride your dirt bike. Get your parents to load it in the back of the minivan and take you there. It's not like loading up our old gas-filled Honda that if it dumps over on the side of the station wagon, there's gas everywhere. You know, you can hold those things. You could transport them more easily, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
My parents couldn't take us somewhere with our mini bike.
That was a really convoluted way of saying you can just put it in the back and take it somewhere that you don't have to have a license to ride it.
Yeah. Sorry. I mean, I'm not always clear as that.
Like thinking about gas,
But I've-
like,
And I've been drinking. So
I admit nothing.
anyway, so that was our first topic that we want to talk about. And we had almost got to that point where we were talking about the 14-year-olds when our recording stopped. So now
Let's talk about Tesla lady.
Yes, Tesla lady. I was on CKNW yesterday about Tesla lady, and you've been on like 50 different media outlets about Tesla lady. Let's talk about Tesla lady.
I mean,
your
she
thoughts?
should be our ridiculous driver of the week, but she's not.
No, your thoughts.
So my thoughts, I think it's don't you use your ridiculous defense that I think you've come up with for her. No, it's wrong. It's terrible. Like, not only can you end up in that situation, for those who didn't somehow manage to see this news, this woman is filmed driving on Highway 1 near Revelstoke, fully reclined in her seat, sunglasses on, taking a nap, while her 2 children were in the back of the car, tooling down Highway 1. Highway speeds.
You and I had to drive that stretch together once, many
once.
years ago. No, there's only once that we've driven down that stretch of highway together.
From Revelstoke to where?
From Golden to Revelstoke.
We did it 2 times last summer because I had court.
That was the other way. Drove the other direction. Anyway, so it is a very interesting stretch of road. There's high mountain passes. There are passing lanes where you can pass trucks. There are trucks that are slowing down to 50 kilometers an hour as they're going up or coming down a hill because of the 8% grade. And it is a stretch of highway that you really need to pay attention on. And the video was very clear. This person was asleep, sunglasses on the front seat, 2 kids in the back asleep. And your thought is, these are the offenses that she could be charged with.
Oh, yeah, that's my thought. My thought is only these are the offenses.
Well, that's right. It came out.
That's what I was asked.
That's what it came out.
That's what the interviews were about.
So that's why I went up, I took issue with your spin on it.
Please tell me why she wouldn't be charged with those things.
I'm not saying that she wouldn't be charged with those things, but there's times that, you can be behind the wheel and overcome with fatigue. And it's happened to most everybody who's driven, and it can be completely unanticipated. I remember, falling asleep once at the kitchen table. My head fell down into my plate when I was 15 years old. I was about to become sick. These things happen to people. There's been plenty of times I've been driving at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I can't make it. I remember calling you one day when I was doing deliveries in our van, the distillery deliveries in the Okanagan. I was like, Kyla, I think I got to just get a hotel room. I'm not going to make it back. I said, we're podcast. I don't know how we're going to record the podcast. And
So
you
if
said,
you've ever heard a
you said,
solo cut,
don't be silly. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Have a cup of coffee. And I'm like, I had a cup of coffee, and I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't go to bed till midnight. I mean, I was wide awake, but it happens, right? You can be overcome with fatigue and lose it and fall asleep. Lots of times people fall asleep behind the wheel without the self-driving feature or some other feature like Volkswagen's got with their new cars and probably a bunch of other manufacturers. You drive into the ditch, you're dead, your kids are, And so I was upset with the narrative where everybody was jumping to the worst conclusion, like she got behind the wheel to have a nap.
the seat was reclined. You don't recline the seat out of fatigue.
Look at half the drivers out there. They drive with their seats so far reclined. There was a study I remember mentioned a few years ago. It's not like I read this study, but it was in the news or something, pre-TikTok. Otherwise, that's where most of my studies come from these days. But they talked about the beneficial aspect of reclining your seat for your spine and for back pain. And I'm a guy who always keeps his seat really upright because I don't want to fall asleep. That's one of the many reasons. But lots of people drive around reclined in their seat.
Did you watch the video?
Yes.
Do you think that's how reclined in the seat people drive around as?
Well, maybe the Tesla recliner seat for
Let's also
sometimes I look and I don't even feel
would be Crown Counsel on this file. Let's also factor in the fact that she was wearing sunglasses, which middle of a sunny day might not mean anything except for when you know that Tesla's safeguards that it barely has on its vehicle systems. Why are you glaring at me? Require the car watches you to see if you're looking at the road. Look at your eyes.
I'm just thinking of my counter argument.
Yeah, that looks at your eyes, and sunglasses could, in those circumstances, be interpreted as a sign that you're trying to defeat the systems.
Gee, you're driving westbound in the afternoon on the Trans-Canada Highway and you've got sunglasses on. You must be trying to defeat the system. There's no other reasonable explanation.
Well, if you take it independently, but here's the thing about a circumstantial case, Paul. The law on circumstantial cases, Villa Roman, is you look at the totality of the evidence and then ask if all the reasonable inferences arising from that have been disproven. So the reasonable inference you would be asking a court to draw in that circumstance is that a woman with 2 children in the car was so fatigued.
Woman, you're attacking her for her gender now. We're assuming women drivers.
Are really grasping at straws. Was so fatigued and just happened to be driving with the seat reclined all the way back and happened to be wearing sunglasses. She didn't pull over or think of a better way to look after her children. She continued down the highway and took no opportunities to turn off before she completely fell asleep.
As a parent, a position that you are not, I will tell you.
Not just discriminating again. I can't have children.
I know you can't.
So,
yeah,
you've just brought up my trauma.
That'll learn you. As a,
I don't have trauma around not having children. I don't want children. And babysitting this weekend, that's about as close as I get.
As a parent, I can tell you, I think that it is highly unlikely someone would get in their car, load their children in the back, even if they have all the confidence in the world of the self-driving mode of the Tesla, and then proceed to intentionally sleep. My thinking is that she got in, she's driving the car, that the car doesn't require the level of engagement that other vehicles do, and this is a particular problem with these self-driving cars. And she is really a pioneer on the cutting edge here. She was in her vehicle and doing what will soon be everybody in the future, but again, not intentionally so. She fell asleep. She had her seat reclined to be comfortable in a car that is notoriously uncomfortable. Teslas are horrible to ride in as a passenger, for sure. I mean, I feel nauseous anytime I'm in one. And as a consequence, drifted off and was saved by the car. But the car, I would say, if it gets the sense that you're falling asleep, should probably pull over.
I think, Paul, that you should prefer to represent this poor, maligned woman whose name is being dragged through the mud by the media. Whose image is out there on the internet for all to hate her. You deal with the Ministry of Children and Family Development for her.
I won't deal with that part, but I think they shouldn't be called in, and I don't even.
They will be called in. This is a mandatory situation of calling them in.
Yeah, I know. But when they come to her house, they'll find that everything's okay, and the toilet paper is in the proper overhead fashion.
And the toothpaste tube is squeezed from the bottom and not the middle?
Exactly.
I squeeze mine from the top because I don't want to squeeze from the middle and just be a jerk about it, and I don't want to squeeze from the bottom and be like a conformist. So I squeeze from the top.
Anyway, so there we go. That's the Tesla one. Now, the other big topic or the big event this week was the accident on the Sea to Sky Highway.
Miriam of our office found herself stuck in.
So 8 to 10 hours people reported being stuck on the highway. And the accident is one thing. We could talk about that very briefly. There is some dash cam video of a RCMP cruiser going around two motorcycles to get to their target motorcycles. And going around the two motorcycles was pretty damn dangerous.
They killed the target motorcycle.
They were in the left-hand lane. The two motorcycles, the police were coming up. They went to move to the right-hand lane. They had to do evasive action because the police were trying to pass them and did pass them on the right-hand side. And that was not good mojo. Then further on, there's not video that has been disclosed of the actual motorcycle crash. And our understanding was that it was the
pursuit.
But that police didn't strike the bike or anything like that.
No, that's why you don't engage in a pursuit. That's why their pursuit policy exists.
So collision, motorcyclist dies. Very sad. If you're riding a motorcycle, your lifespan is shorter. As I say, it's unfortunately a Darwinistic instrument. Now the independent investigating office is investigating the police. And so the highway was closed. And this is what happens when Kyla and I know from our jobs. And all the police officers listening know when there's a fatality, 6 hours at the very short end, 8 to 12 hours, pretty common for the investigation to get the people out there who know how to measure things and mark things off and take the photographs. And so all of these people, we're talking hundreds of people, maybe thousands, stuck on the highway, on the Sea to Sky Highway for 8 to 10 hours. People with seniors, pilots trying to get to the airport, I've heard reported. These are all the things that have come back to me in my TikTok comments since I posted about it. People with elderly, people with children, babies, infants who need formula, you name it, all stuck there on the highway. And there was no attempt to help them get out of this, to turn them around back to Squamish or back to wherever. People were just trapped. Most of them were trying to get back from Whistler.
I have a friend who is a member of a municipal police force who was riding his motorcycle out in East Kootenays or something one summer with another friend, and both of them happened to be level 1 collision analysts.
Yes.
And they got stuck in a highway closure where they were waiting, and it was hours because they were waiting on a collision analyst to come for an accident that was it was very obvious if you had showed up on scene exactly what happened, and that there was nobody who survived that was responsible for anything. And I'm trying to be deliberately vague. Obviously, I've been giving more details than this. And they pulled their motorcycles past all the traffic, went up, said, "We're off duty, this police department. We're level 1 collision analysts. Do you need help?" And the members on scene were like, "Oh, thank God."
Oh.
And they were like, "Yep, that guy did that. That guy did that. This is how it happened. You can wrap it up.
Give me a notebook. Let's make a few notes and
nobody to be charged that currently has a pulse."
Yes. Those things happen. But so it takes time to get them there. And so the whole thing takes a long time. And you can reasonably anticipate that it is going to take a minimum of 6 hours, at the high end, 12 hours, to deal with those poor people. And it seems to me like, the police have the duty to serve and protect. This is just no different than being lodged in the back of a police cruiser for 8 to 10 hours. You've got nothing there available to you. You might have some water and if you're lucky. People should not have to. All these people are like, you've got a plan. You've got to make sure you've got water in your car and you've got this and that. None of that would have helped these people in these circumstances where, the worst case scenario, I would imagine, would be the person who's going for the colonoscopy Monday morning. Driving up from Whistler.
Start their prep at the roadside. Break out that jug from the trunk.
They've already had it. There's all sorts of scenarios that, people were describing it as like an apocalyptic scene. And why nobody realized that the highway's closed, we can help each vehicle turn around and drive back up the highway, redirect them back to Squamish.
I told you this already, but if I were a police officer, waiting around with nothing to do at that scene, I'd be walking down the line of cars, mandatory demanding every single person.
Yeah,
So how ever see.
you would have.
Yeah, you know how many impaired drivers I'd pull off the road, man?
Well, that's the other thing. What about the drunks who needed to get home to have a drink?
Yeah, what about the drunks who needed to get home before their BAC exceeded the legal limit?
Well, there's that. Let's suppose.
And other ridiculous scenarios.
I mean, there are ridiculous scenarios, but it does seem
There
to
are
me
legit
that
ones,
like
yeah.
it's totally legit, and it seems to me that policy change for the police. Hopefully they're taking note of this. Provincial government could write some piece of legislation that in the event that a highway is closed,
More than 90 minutes.
and it can be anticipated that it's going to be more than 2 hours, the police have to take steps to ensure that there is a opportunity for people to turn around if possible, to get back to wherever they came from, because leaving people in those scenarios, it is different if you are have an avalanche, maybe in those circumstances, you're not going to be able to do it every time, but they should be taking steps to deal with that and explain why they couldn't if they don't.
Yes.
So that's our other topic now.
Gotta get on to our ridiculous driver of the week.
Yes.
It's a motorcyclist on a highway in Quebec.
Description say in English.
Perdu la maîtrise. A motorcyclist is like doing a wheelie for quite an extended distance down the highway in Quebec
It looks like a major highway.
at a very
Somewhat
high rate of
electrical.
speed. Like using my speed estimation skills, I'm gonna guess at least 70, 80 kilometers an hour.
I would say closer to 100 kilometers an hour on a, probably 90 kilometers an hour in the left-hand lane on a multi-lane highway doing a wheelie, just driving down doing a wheelie.
And
To anybody's surprise,
gravity catches up with him.
things go awry.
Yeah. He falls over backwards. Do we know? Did he get injured? I assume. Oh, no, he got injured, but he did live, and he got 5 tickets. I wonder what 5 charges you would get. Dangerous, but that's not a ticket. Drive without due care and attention, stunting.
It's Quebec, they
Yeah,
probably
I don't know the
was
Quebec traffic code.
driving in the
I've heard
left-hand
it was
lane
municipal traffic code, I
road
think.
and no purpose except to do bad things. Anyway, it was on TikTok and
Yeah.
it was pretty bad.
You can find it on TVA Nouvelle on TikTok.
Yes, it was certainly a ridiculous driver. So it's ridiculous driver motorcycle season.
It is. If you're a motorcyclist, be careful. Follow the rules of the road. I know it's real tempting because you can pass everybody and traffic's busy and times are tough and you got to rush around, as I know more than anybody right now. But don't die, please, because then you make it really inconvenient for the rest of us. Like if you want to take your own life in your hands and ride a motorcycle, I get that you signed up for that, but don't inconvenience everybody else.
Buy a dirt bike, go on a trail and hurt yourself there.
Yeah, hurt yourself somewhere that won't shut down the roadway.
Right. I had so much fun on my dirt bike as a kid, but then I hurt myself and I was like, okay, you know what? This is essentially a lever. It is something that it provides a speed you up thing. It's a lever that allows you to hurt yourself that much more than you could without it.
I went on a dirt bike once as a kid, fell off a dirt bike about 2 seconds later, never gone on a dirt bike again, never will.
And there you go. So that is the podcast.
There you go. And if you have a driving law related issue, you can find us online at vancouvercriminallaw.com or give us a call at 604-685-8889 and tune in next week for another hopefully unencumbered by technical issues driving law podcast.